of shiny helmets, spandex jumpsuits, and strange monsters, these heroes force feed you a bowl of awesome that is the Tokudon Podcast. Join Carl, Josh, and Rob as they haphazardly welcome you to the exciting genre of Tokusatsu. Now, open wide.
There we go. What's going on, everybody? We are here to talk about all kinds of crazy crossovers and a lot of other C consonants that I'm going to throw in here because I can. Or maybe I'll do it Mortal Kombat style. I'll title everything with K's.
Crazy Toku crossovers because we're crazy people and we do crazy stuff.
Yeah, because crazy. I can't think of another C or K word right now, honestly. My brain is fried.
Hey, guys!
Hey. Oh, hi!
Hi!
What is going on, everybody? Yeah, we're going to be talking about superhero Senki today. But before we get into that, what have you been up to, my friend?
Well, I have just been so excited about watching this movie that I saw a raw version, didn't know what was going on, but was super hyped, then finally got to see a sub version and was even more excited. And now when we touch base briefly, I was ready for our talk today because I was like, interesting take.
I dig it. Yeah, I'll share my thoughts in a minute.
Oh, naturally, yes, we must.
Yes. I did want to mention, though, that I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I finished Ultraman Z, whatever you want to call it. Ultraman Z. I finished that. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that show. I highly recommend it, and if you ever get to watch it, we'll do an episode on it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. I was very surprised, considering our track record with Ultraman.
Thorough stamp.
Thorough, solid. I highly recommend this Ultraman.
Interesting. Nice.
Yeah, apparently I was talking to Mark, a nerd named Mark, who will actually be on the podcast next week.
Hey,
what's up,
to Mark?
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Dogengers, and it's also the 18th anniversary of Blade, so I'm sure we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, of course we will. Yay! Oh god.
Ultraman Z was very fun, very interesting, and it's martial arts themed, so that probably drove a lot of it for me. So there's actual choreography in the fights and things. We've talked about the ones that we've watched on the show, at least, kind of just like two dudes in suits kind of bouncing at each other.
That's how we like it.
Yeah, and then I immediately rolled into, I was like, oh, if this is the new energy they're going to bring, I'm immediately rolled into Ultraman Trigger, and I am on episode 3 of that.
Nice.
And I posted up the clip the other day from the first episode. Most people have probably seen it if they have any kind of pulse on the Tokusatsu sphere. But there's this really cool shot that's like a downward angle, and Ultraman Trigger and whatever, the whatchamahoosit thing is called, I don't remember what the monster's called, are fighting. And it has, I've always talked about, we've talked as well on the podcast a little bit of part of the problem with kaiju and Ultraman stuff is they just slow it down to create scale, right? That's the weight. And that's how it's the perceived thing. This does a really cool job of kind of balancing that speed and scale and all this. There's dust flying up, there's buildings cracking and breaking. It's a very cool shot.
Yeah, it's an unspoken understood element of Ultraman where it feels off, but that's what it is.
And it's because they're big, that's why they're moving slower. I just thought this shot in particular was gorgeous and super cool, and I kind of hope there's been one or two moments like that where they take the cinematography to another level, and I hope that kind of continues out through the show. The final episode just aired and everyone is kind of giving it lukewarm reviews, so I'm very curious to finish it myself and kind of see, especially coming off of Ultraman Z, whether I enjoy it or not. I don't understand any of the Tiga references. Apparently there's Tiga references galore. I don't understand any of those.
Ultraman movies tend to be more canon, right? They tend to have more of an impact on the whole timeline, or is it still just like Kamen Rider where it's hey, this might be a thing?
I honestly couldn't tell you. Those Ultra Fight short things, the web series that they do, I have no idea if those are canon or not. Those big crossover Tyson kind of Ultraman movies. I have no idea if those are canon, but they have some of the coolest designs in the Absolutions, the black and gold dudes. They have some of the coolest designs that I've seen in Ultraman, so I'm going to watch those eventually too. I'm kind of just on an Ultraman kick right now.
Well, I'll check out Z and then, see if I can check out Trigger then.
Yeah, I mean they're
like
all on
I wanted
YouTube,
to check out Mebius, and I want to get more involved in the Ultraman verse anyway. So why not? I got the
very cool
and stamp of approval. Oh my god!
Like how many times do I come in and being like, no, this is great. You should really
like
watch
exactly. Because not like this movie, however.
Especially it's a series that I consistently shit on. But I mean, also shout out to Super Eye for just being the gold standard on how the stuff is distributed. Like they have 2 full seasons up there right now that you can watch on top of their extra things like Ultra Galaxy Fight. Super Eye's killing it right now.
Yeah,
that's simple as that. I know it's not available to all regions, which hopefully they're working on. I know some of our friends in Brazil have spoken out and said like, hey, we can't watch this. Can we watch some of this? Same with Toei. Hopefully that stuff gets fixed in the interest of, the global Satsu kind of thing. But yeah, Tsuburaya is like the gold standard of what I think everyone needs to kind of bring it up to. So
yeah,
very cool. Peacemaker says Ultraman keeps its continuity tight, but it never feels required to stay in the loop. You always be told what you need to know when someone else shows up. Absolutely true. Like I watched a little bit of Jeed, so I knew enough about Jeed, but then I saw like in Jeed, I think it was Ginga or X shows up, or no, I'm sorry, Zero shows up, and I never actually saw the Zero movies, and I got enough out of that to understand where Zero came from. Aldi just downloaded Senki, and you await the comments. Very cool. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. I mean, unless you had something else this week, we'll get into it right now. Actually.
No, just more of the Kamen Rider Tokudon. Just working on that.
Yeah, I'm also watching Gao Ranger. Gao Ranger fucking slaps.
Yeah,
Gao Ranger's great. I love it. Have you ever seen Wild Force? Did you watch that back in the day?
No, I was before that. Remember, I dropped out kind of Turbo after Turbo era.
So that was in my era of kind of watching like on and off. But we had actually watched Wild Force when it was on Netflix when I was working in college. We would just watch Wild Force because it was the 6th season, and the 6th Ranger who shows up, the Silver Wolf guy, the Wolf Ranger. If you saw the suit, you'd probably recognize him at this point.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, and those are one of the more iconic designs. Like when I think of Wild Force, I immediately know which one that is. I don't have to like process that.
Exactly. And so he starts off as one of the orgs. So he's one of the bad guys, like most 6 Rangers. He's a bad guy, but he actually starts off as one of the orgs, and then I don't know how he transitions in this show in particular. But that design for a monster, his name's Roki, Rouki, Rouki. He has one of the coolest crescent swords I've ever seen in my life because he's wolf themed. So he has like a crescent moon thing going on. don't go too fast.
Sorry, you got so excited.
I gotta Google it.
You're getting. I'm getting all these vibes. All right.
He just has one of the coolest designs ever and one of the coolest swords ever. And then he has I think it's called the Predaking in the Sentai, and this badass mech that's just a wolf, a crocodile, and a hammerhead shark. Everything about it is just so cool. And Gao Ranger,
amazing.
I've heard again kind of lukewarm things. This is also why I want to check out Trigger for myself. A couple people that other creators, things like that. A couple people I've talked to were kind of like, meh, on Gao Ranger. I was like, sure, I'll check it out. Whatever, develop my own opinion. Why not? And I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. There is some things that I can see where people are like, well, when they're not in the suits, it's kind of boring. And it is. Some of the episodes are kind of boring. They drag a little bit, especially in the beginning. But
the characters. So the characters aren't very engaging. Are they very atypical?
Yeah, they're very Sentai characters. Like they're kind of one note. They kind of just do their thing. They have their like adventures of the week sort of thing that don't really affect the grand scheme. It's just kind of like, oh, these guys are up to shenanigans. Let's intertwine this story. The typical Sentai formula.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like there's 2 orgs. There's I don't remember their names. It's like Tsui and something else. They kind of just go around getting into like mischief, and then the Rangers kind of go around and stop it. And it usually involves some new bad guy of the week sort of thing that it grows, and they bring out Gal Muscle because that's the thing. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it actually. I'm enjoying it more. Maybe it's just because it's my show to like fall asleep to. I just like turn it on for a couple episodes and fall asleep.
You need one of those just because like for me, obviously I need nightmares to go to sleep, so I understand that's something better.
Yep. I've ran out of those, so I've seen every nightmare there is known to man and several known to monkeys at this point.
It has a very, I'm getting like super Saber vibes from this design. Like
the wolf Roki?
Yeah. Like Kamen Rider Saber is like straight up this.
Yeah, it kind of has that because it has the horn and the same angle and everything.
Let me drop this in the Discord. Sorry.
Peacemaker actually says the Shoto, this is why I mentioned it, Peacemaker. Shoto Super just announced a figure of Roki. So Yeah, you can grab that soon.
Yeah,
he's
dropping that in the Discord right now.
This is very
Saber designs.
He's just a sick design in general, honestly.
Dude, straight up, like
he's just cool. I dig him. I like him.
I dig it a lot. Not even. Yeah. I'm not knocking anything about it.
No, he's cool. All the org designs are honestly kind of cool. Or at least the main ones. Some of the week-to-week ones are whatever. They're very hit or miss. But like his design is sick. I'm kind of sad that he loses it eventually to get his like Ranger form. But yeah, no, it's a sick design, and it's cool too because he has this. The whole story is he has this 1,000-year grudge from the previous Gao Rangers, and they have no idea what's going on because it's previous Gao Rangers, right? Like they have no idea.
Yeah,
and then
that's dope.
Yeah, and he comes in just like big dick swinging, fucks them all up, and then he just is like also questioning his existence at the same time and having an existential crisis.
I'm okay with that.
I was like, this is kind of sick. All right, here we go. So
I dig that.
He's going around. I don't know if you remember, they use the little jewels they put in their sword to like summon the Megazords, or the Zords in general.
Man. Not so much.
Okay, so yeah, they use these little gems
for some reason.
What is it?
More the henshin roll call. Like just
gotcha. They have those phone things that do like the it turns into the whatever. But they use little jewels they put in their sword to like summon the Zords and all that kind of stuff. And he just like goes around like melting these things. So he's like nuked one or two of them already.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're gonna come back. I know they come back, but it's just funny because he walks in, grabs one, and it just like.
He's like, I'm just this. That's cute, but watch what I can do. I'm breaking all your stuff.
And he has a flute, so he's a super badass. The flute is also a knife. I don't know what Sentai's problem is with having an actual flute, but the flute is a knife again.
Because when you get it right once, you beat it till it's no longer till it's a mushy remnant of what it was. And I'm dropping Saber in there finally. I was trying to find one that resembled kind of the same pose, but. Straight up, dude. Now and they have to have gotten all of this from.
There's definitely some inspiration there.
Anyway,
but I think Gao Ranger is also the 25th anniversary. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's an anniversary season, so that might be also kind of why they did that. I don't know. Yeah, and it's sick. Go watch Gao Ranger too. That's on VRV right now. It probably might be on like Shout or anything like that.
Gao Ranger. Full weekend. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going hard in the Toku. Like I got to do something while I'm on the elliptical at the gym, so I watch some Toku.
Yeah, I dig that, bro.
Yeah. But without further ado, let's get into some superhero Senki, which is the newest crossover movie between Sentai and Kamen Rider. Some subs dropped last week. Everyone was losing their mind, so we kind of felt obligated to take a look at it and just check out the hype, honestly. So this movie takes place with Saber and the Zenkaigers. They are the main two teams. Go ahead.
I was digging the whole thing, honestly.
Okay.
When it started, it was just like I was expecting a whole evolution to a Tyson movie. Mm-hmm. I was, at least me, I'm like, okay, so maybe we're gonna get some kind of. I didn't check out trailers for the most part because I always hate that they show the best sequences in the trailer. So at this point I was just like, let me wait till we actually check it out. And then I saw the raw. Was amazed by what I've seen visually and some of the some of the phrases that we've managed to learn over the last 30 plus years. Mm-hmm. but I mean, honestly, I was impressed that this wasn't just a mindless let's fight each other movie. I mean, pacing though, holy crap, the pacing was breakneck.
Yeah.
But you had to be, honestly. There was no way this plot was going to work any other way.
So just a little backstory on this. This is the 50th anniversary and the 45th anniversary of 50th anniversary of Kamen Rider and the 45th anniversary of Sentai. And it, like most Taisens, it features a couple people that make cameos. Most of those I haven't seen, honestly.
This is definitely more of a Kamen Rider anniversary, though. Like
you think?
The Sentai is definitely a major aspect, but in terms of the major surprises and like cameos and everything, super Kamen Rider focus.
Okay.
I believe that was the point, because they'll probably save something like that for the 50th for the Sentai.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's only 5 years and they're going to get another anniversary season. It's kind of crazy.
Right.
But so just to set up the general plot to this movie before we dig in too far. So you have this guardian of the almighty bookshelf, the super bookshelf, apparently, that is hanging out in space. It is the third base for the Sword of Logos, where if you guys have seen Kamen Rider Saber, it is the branch that all the swordsmen, all the Kamen Rider work for. It is the organization, I should say, not the branch. They work for the northern branch or the southern branch. I don't remember.
Yeah, the northern base. This is like the
space base. This is Space Force.
Yeah, the Asterix base, something like that.
Yeah.
Asterix.
This is Kamen Rider Saber Space Force. That's what it is.
Yeah. So initially, okay, if we're gonna get into gripes in terms of the plot, like I was like, where was this in the show? Where were these forbidden books that might have been maybe something stories might have been interested, maybe maybe a little bit, but I get it.
It wasn't an anniversary season. That's why they weren't there.
Right. So I was okay. I'm like, all right, let me just forget that. But
even a name drop, just like a slight name drop to be like, oh, there's also the hidden base, Asterix. We're just going to call it Asterix because I don't know what the hell it's called.
Yes, the Asterix base.
The Asterix base. That's why you put the little asterisk on it. It's like, oh, by the way, this is here.
Yeah, by the way, this base, there the whole time, but
we don't talk about the Asterix, okay?
You just don't talk about the Asterix base because of the great Osmodeus.
Who I think has a sick-ass design. That
dope.
design
He's
is so cool.
Dope. It's very Garo. I was like, ooh, we got a Garo villain in here.
Right?
Dope.
Like that was a straight up horror. And then even, I will say, so again, spoilers. We are going to be talking about the whole movie. Before I get too hard into the plot here, we're going to be talking about huge spoilers of the movie. If you haven't seen Superhero Senki, pause this, mute me. You should probably just honestly mute the rest of the stream.
Go watch it, definitely. Just go watch it first. Come back.
Go watch it. Yeah, we'll probably still be here in 2 hours.
No, wait. No, we're gonna wait.
Oh,
we're gonna wait.
Okay.
So how are you?
Living the dream. How are you?
Yeah, man. No, it's cool. Yeah, I got you. You think they're back here? Yeah, they watch.
No.
All right, so
you have to put it on 40 times speed. That's what it was. So yes, there's gonna be spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. Just be aware. This one is fairly new. That's why I kind of care more about spoilers.
Yeah.
So, so Asmodeus eventually turns into this huge dragon at the end, and I am not a fan of the big CG monsters. I've made that very clear. Dude. Even that thing though was sick.
that was like worth the whole. I was like, oh, I see. That's why we got here. Yeah. This whole sequence was why we got. Anyway, we'll get there.
I was like, that's straight up a Yu-Gi-Oh monster. Okay, let's do this.
so they reveal that for some reason he's encased in stone, and then he just breaks out of it because plot. And then he has this little Android 19 palm thingy that he just kind of breaks this.
Yep, because he's the guardian, so I'm assuming he can control it.
Right. So, and as he breaks out, he triggers a trap when he steps onto the sigil. The trap drops this guillotine blade, and he just Eisen palms the blade, and then he shatters it. And then I'm like, okay, so he's definitely dope. And then
he was like, let me show you my dick size.
And then he shows it again because he does a backswing with like the guardians, the dudes that Story summons that were like that
the ancient saber riders.
Yeah, the other riders that were basically killed by this guy.
Yeah.
These guys, excuse me. He basically one-shots them.
Yeah.
And he's attacked by like 6 of them.
Yeah.
A good amount. And he just one-shots him.
Yeah, and if we could pause and break that down for a second just to establish his power level in that moment, like that 1 second thing where they just kind of come and he one-shots.
I don't think I did that justice. Did I mention that one of them basically killed a set of 2 riders each?
Yes. They struggled so hard against these 4 riders in the TV show. So hard. So for this dude to one-shot them like they are trash is very impressive.
If it weren't for the plot at the end, they would have been dead. Seriously. Okay, so anyway, one-shots them because that's the level of swinging that we're doing in this movie. Yep. Okay. And that all of it was to get the manga section of this bookshelf. So he wanted the manga section of the
He's been watching the anime. He wants the manga.
Yeah, he was so over it. He's like, no, I need the sources. So he grabs.
I need to know what happens next.
He grabs each of these books, and as we see them, you could tell they're like colorful, and at first I didn't get it because I wasn't familiar with the Sentai logos, and then I saw the Rider logos, and I'm like, oh, that's what they are. That's the whole thing. So these books are each series, and he absorbs them, scatters them again, something. I don't know what the point
I don't know.
of
He like
are.
wonder books the shit out of them, and they just kind of scatter across time and space.
Something for reasons.
Yeah, and Aldi's asking if they set this up with a TV crossover. I thought that too until the Zenkaigers and the Saber crew don't recognize each other for whatever reason. I thought this was set up in the TV show, and I thought they were gonna be like, oh, hey, you know, Sabella, Majin, what's up? But like they don't recognize each other at all, so I have no idea.
And there's not anything like a reset in this, right? There's not anything.
I don't know. I didn't actually see the crossover, so I have no idea. I don't think so. And then Peacemaker saying none of the plot matters. None of the plot does matter. It's a Tyson movie. Literally none of the plot matters.
Plot matters.
But that is, I'll get into that in a minute, Peacemaker. I have some issues no. So I will say, overall, before I put out points, I did enjoy this movie.
Yes.
I had a lot of fun with this movie. I was just busting your balls when I said I got a lot of problems.
Oh no, I understand. I was waiting for that because I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, I did actually enjoy this movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I do have some issues that kind of just I got to get off my chest. And part of it is the plot, so I'll get to that in a minute, Peacemaker. And essentially, this movie breaks down into three parts. There's the Zenkaiger main crew experiencing things. There's the Saber main crew experiencing things, and then they come together to do the final big lineup and all that kind of stuff. Essentially, what the story breaks down to. So once these books are scattered across time and space, all the heroes that we've known throughout, you know, these shows, specifically the Saber crew and the Zenkaiger crew, open them and they're teleported to each other's worlds, essentially.
Essentially, right. And the way they break it down is when you open the book, it's whoever's in your vicinity. It's taken.
I guess, but also not because that old lady didn't go anywhere, so I have no idea.
I said technically.
But I'm assuming
if you have a gear change or a rider belt, yes.
yeah, let's go with that because there's a whole part to that I actually really enjoyed in this movie. So they get transported and then hijinks ensue, kind of thing. But one of the coolest parts is once they kind of get settled in the worlds, they get transported again because Asmodeus is kind of just doing his thing. And we get two of the coolest concepts I've ever seen in a Toku movie with established franchises.
Go for it.
We get Journey to the West.
Yes.
Toku. And then we also get, it's called 8 Dogs, but for a broader reference, 7 Samurai Toku.
Yes.
Like
7 Samurai. Bro, I didn't even get to gush during the moment because I wanted to save it for this, but Buddha Gio made me so happy. Buddha Oma made me
Gio.
so happy. I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what you should have done with him.
Like, I saw that and I was like, oh man, Oma Gio's messing with time too. It's going to be this whole thing.
I was like, I need nothing else from this movie. I am gonna go and now I need to have a mock-up of a Buddha somehow.
Just doing one of these things, you know.
Just doing that. I love it.
Peacemaker says they already did a 7 Samurai Toku movie. It's called Hibiki, and it is the best thing that came out of Hibiki.
I didn't get to see it. I didn't see it yet. So
the Hibiki movie is fantastic.
Okay, I'll
it's my
watch
favorite
that.
part of Hibiki.
With the same mindset then.
Yeah, it's essentially 7 Samurai. They gather the the dirty dozen, if you will.
I got you.
But yeah, like they do this 8 dog thing and they get some of the coolest characters from both franchises, honestly.
It's
like who is
cameos
in
in this is
it's Doggy Kruger and in the 8 dog story, it's Doggy Kruger, it's Rio Commander from Draco Commander from
Washi Pink.
Washi Pink, you get Kirame Blue, and then you also get Samurai Green. Juron's there, so is Aruto, 01, and then you also have Toma.
Gio. Yeah.
So there's your 8 dogs. I
will say Grangio's in that too, right? Yeah.
No, he's in the other one.
He's in the other one.
He's in the other one. Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll just take it section by section because these are both their own stories.
Yeah, because it's a lot to break down.
Yeah. So in this 8 dog story, they kind of get transported to feudal Japan, and I thought it was going to be the Den-O movie. Is it Den-O?
I got the O's. Yeah,
O's,
I got the O's vibes immediately. I was like, oh snap, it'll be O's.
Yeah, it'll be that O's movie where he gets like all the forms at once, sort of thing. Yeah. And I was like, oh damn, this would be kind of cool. And then it was just its own like feudal Japan story. And then like the G that he is, I don't know what his name is other than Decamaster. I don't know what his actual name is. I'm going to call him Doggy Kruger. Doggy Kruger wanders as the big badass samurai man that he is with his galactic Ito Ryu, and then just messes all these jobbers up. And it is like one of the coolest scenes, and it reminded me of his 100 body count scene that he has a straight up Muzo counter in the corner when he shows up.
Really? Is that that's the thing for it?
When he shows up in both SPD and Deca Ranger, he has a straight up Muzao body counter in his corner, and he takes out 100 dudes.
That's amazing.
It's so sick.
That's awesome. So his whole thing is that he's super deadly. He's super dope. Like,
he's just a badass.
I haven't watched anything, but when I saw his debut, even not knowing the show, I knew to get hyped because I'm like, oh, that's super.
That Shadow Ranger.
This is gonna be dope. And then I remember even his design is kind of like super different, and I'm like, yes, that's right. This design I liked of that whole show. Yep. And oh man, like, I can't wait. So now I'm even more excited to check it out because I've never even like, I knew he was a badass. Two. Now I know for sure that he's a badass.
Yeah. Peacemaker saying, he's the boss of SPD. Yeah, he's like the commander of SPD. And then at one point, one of the doctors gets like taken away. Katz, if you're familiar with the show at all, she gets kidnapped by one of the dudes that like helped destroy his world. So he's like Omega Mad mode. So he takes his Deca Changer. I forget what they're called.
So it goes from Musou to like that super Musou.
He straight up comes out with the sword, and he just like slow henshin walks kind of thing. It is so sick. It's such a good scene. Right. It's one of the most memorable scenes. I've only seen the SPD version, but it is one of the most memorable scenes in my brain that sticks out when I think SPD. I love that scene just because of the Muzao counter. It's so cool.
So he's in this.
So right out the gate, we got this badass. And then we have Draco Commander and Maji Pink, or what's her name?
Washi Pink.
Washi Pink. There you go. Washi Pink, not Maji Pink. Washi
Pink. They don't do much. They don't do much of this.
And the best part, since we're talking about it, that Doggy Kruger has the Blade book.
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that? I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. The Deca Ranger version's the same. Perfect. They didn't have to change anything. That's fantastic that they didn't change anything. I love it. Yeah. So Deca Master Doggy Kruger has the Blade book. I was done there. I was like, nope, this is a good movie. We're good. Doesn't matter what else happens.
I dig it.
And then it immediately jumps to Kirame Blue and Samurai Green.
They're like in the middle of a fight for some reason. They're like about to throw hands.
They're just throwing hands because samurai respect, honor, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
it was just dope because we're like, oh snap.
The story is essentially the eight swordsmen all have one of these books, right? So Toma has his book. Doggy Kruger's got his book.
That's the
mark. And Juron doesn't have one, but they show like a little outline, and like Juron's clearly there because Juron looks super weird and different than everyone else. So like Juron's obviously going to be one.
So he doesn't have a book.
He doesn't have a book at this point. But then they stumble across Kirame Blue and Shinken Green, and they have a pretty cool fight, honestly. It was pretty sick. I didn't hate it. I don't know anything about either of them, but it was pretty sick. I've not seen Kira Major or any significant amount of Shinkenger or Samurai. So
one of the things you got to know about this movie is it starts out with a saber with Juron and oh my god, I forget his name. The old one, the ancient one, the sword one? Guy. The sword
Yuri.
Yuri. Oh my god, why was I thinking Yoshi?
I
was like,
he's essentially
Yoshi, I'll never live it down. But
he's essentially Yoshi, to be fair. So.
Anyway, so Yuri, they start off and they actually run into the MacGuffin / major character / total point of this whole movie character, Shotaro. And he's basically portrayed as this magical Harry Potter character. Now, obviously,
said, but Yuri's not a horse, and I will say, Toma rides that ass for most of the series.
Like he's legit on that ass the whole time since the jump. But legit, the Shotaro character represents Ishinomori-san, and that's
not represents. He is Ishinomori.
Well, that's my point. Is that the best part of this movie is the idea and the way that it can be, for me, that I took this whole movie is that I took it as, since this is a big homage, and the way they explain the plot down the road is that this is his creation, everything about this, and the way that they imply that he has lost, or he is searching for his true inspiration, and the way that as we see him receive what the riders are to us now versus what he originally created them to be. The whole message of the movie to me was that it's all, yes, the changes have happened, but it's all in the same spirit. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that's why this movie was like, wow. And after it was done, and after I took a second to think about, you know, it's a lot of fun. This movie is so much fun if you take out our little gripes that we'll get into. But honestly, that's the message I took from that. After knowing that this character is Ishin, and the whole time I'm like, okay, so obviously his name is Judd, because they don't really do much with him other than you see him, you know that he's out of place, and he's sketching the riders as he sees them fight, and it's really dope because I would like these original sketches. Is this a thing? Can we find these? Because I want these.
Someone probably
I
has
want them. Oh my god, I want them. These are dope sketches that he's doing of the crossovers as they're fighting. But yeah, so we're introduced to him. Harry Potter vibes, super Harry Potter vibes with the pen.
Yeah. Straight up, he just like Wingardium Leviosa or whatever. I don't know. We were just watching it yesterday, actually. He just like fires something out. Yeah. And he's like, and then what does May say? She literally says, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Oh my god, yeah.
And the pen really is mightier than the sword.
May is as cringy as ever, but she's adorable, so we'll give her a pass.
Ishinomori has a big crush on her the entire movie.
I think that's the heavy implication. Like, he only goes along with it because she's like,
absolutely.
What's up?
Yeah. But it's cool because, you know, Peacemaker's mentioned in the chat here that the Tyson movies typically are like heroes, justice, hero is forever. Yeah. Which is an actual line they say later in very broken English. But I think this added a little bit to it because it was Ishinomori actually here, and it was clearly like, you know, I mean, most Kamen Rider is, you know, in honor of him because he created the series. Most things go back to him, or, you know,
naturally, they find a way.
I just think having him in the actual movie this time kind of really may have been a little heavy-handed, but at the same time it was fun and cool to see.
Right, yeah. If you take it as the homage that it is, like it is heavy-handed, but just take it because that's what it is.
And then so they meet them before they get transported to these two separate stories, and then as I think he goes with Toma to the samurai world, right? Yeah, he goes with Toma and Jiran and Mei to the samurai world, and then like it eventually it breaks down into the 8 samurai guys fighting a bunch of jobbers, and then you find out that Washi Pink and Draco Commander are obviously our 7th and 8th after they've assembled everyone else. Jiran does a really cool thing when Kirame Blue and Shinken Green are fighting, where he just kind of like trips into like holding both of their swords up with his feet. Yeah. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever, but I think it's hilarious.
It was cool. It was like they had a lot of little moments in here that are really dope. That I wish I would have like been more tentative with my notes, but there was like a couple moments where I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. Like just the moment itself is brilliant.
Yeah, and like I realize that Jiran is kind of like my spirit animal a little bit, and I don't know if I enjoy that or not, because at one point he straight up screams like, the more you explain it, the less I understand it, and I was like, that hits a little too close to home.
Yeah, I get it, bro. Let's just have them fight.
I was like, I don't know, just let him do the thing.
Just do the thing, we'll fight the thing, I will beat the thing. That's all I need, okay?
As soon as Washi Pink and Draco Commander henshin, I feel like I still don't like the Ryu Commander outfit, that purple thing. I don't like that outfit.
I think the coat goes too long.
Yes, like, it needs a belt. Yeah. Like, the problem is it just goes straight from the chest piece into the coat, right? Like, I feel like it needs a belt, kind of like Saber's.
Yeah, it's very.
It really bugs me.
And it doesn't move. Like, it's very tight. Like, if it was flowy, it would probably look more like a cape. But
it's a weird tight, but not at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the material that they used, I guess. I don't know. And I do like a lot of the Q Ranger suits. A lot of them are really cool. I can't imagine the Q Ranger blue suit not being 1,000 billion degrees in those furry pants. That must have been a nightmare.
Good luck.
But yeah, Juron, big energy, and then we get the whole gang, and that's when that story ends. They get transported back to the main world, the combination world, and then if we rewind just to look at the other half of the story, at this point, Blades and the Zenkaigers are doing their thing in the Journey to the West story, and I gotta say, there's something to be said about Blades not using Lion Senki a single time. He immediately goes to King Senki. Every single time.
Because he knows to Bankai right away.
He's like, I am not dealing with this nonsense. This is insane.
Like this, he was the one the whole time was like, something's not right, you guys. Like, something's not right.
Yep.
So let's figure this out. But everybody's gung ho because he's with Zenkaiser. So he's like, let's help everybody.
Kaito's just having a blast.
Yeah, Kaito the whole time he was enjoyable because I'm like, he's very himself.
Yep.
He's very his character in this show, in this movie, and I like that they didn't change him. But yeah, so like they in their story they run into the Den-O riders.
Of course they do.
The Den-O Imagine. Yep. Excuse me. And
the main four. They play the four characters from Journey to the West. Son Goku, I forget all their names. Son Goku, Oolong's character. They have the. I only know them from Saki at that point. Yeah, it's like Yuju, something like that. I don't remember their names.
Yeah,
basically Bulma, Oolong, Goku, and Yamcha. That's essentially what they are.
You get them. You get them represented, and then Momotaro's obviously is the most featured one.
He's Son Goku because of course he is.
Yeah, but every one of them are represented fairly. There's nobody really gets shafted among them. So I'm not going to say that. So, but we also get Grangio in this one too.
Yeah, we do.
And
oh my God.
Sorry.
So I want to ask something real quick, and I'm not going to shit on it because everyone knows how I feel about Granzio at this point. I'm not even going to go there. But when because I didn't watch the episodes other than the Henshin, when he summons the riders, does he choose the form that they're in? Because sometimes they're in the powered up form, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're kind of just how he presses the thing and it summons the riders. So he summons a couple of them, right? He's got Ghost in the Great Damashi. He's got Sparkling build, and then he's got standard Kabuto and standard whatever back here. I was like, there's no rhyme or reason to this.
It's because it's what he wants to do.
Is it just like the plot reason? Is that what he hits it and whatever he needs for the plot shows up?
It's Grangio.
He can choose the form or weapon. I noticed the form thing. Okay, so when he slaps the statue, he can choose the form. Okay, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what is this nonsense?
Because again, one of those little moments is that his when he first comes on screen, he's all cloaked and shadowy, and you can't really tell who it is. Obviously, we do, but I mean, when he first transforms, he goes right into Grangio.
Yep.
And his first summon is Kabuto.
Yep.
Because the villain. Oh, we didn't even mention the villains. Osmodeus. Yeah, Osmodeus creates these lackeys, and each is like a representation of.
You have the Zenkaiser Wonder Book, and then you have the Kikinoid Saber.
Yes, so fusion weirdo. They're dope designs. They look obnoxious as hell though. That head must have weighed like a million pounds.
I love it. So the Wonder Book, if anyone has not seen the movie yet, or is interested, the Wonder Book Zenkaiser has actual Zenkaiser coming out of the book.
It's
like
dope.
On its head. It's really sick
cool.
looking.
I like it, but I'm like, wow, that must have been like hell for that guy. Poor dude. But hey, you love it, right? So, and then the other one is kind of like a lesser design. It's very like I wouldn't say it feels as powerful as they imply it is, but apparently it is. And it has a spiked bat, so super awesome.
Yeah,
the spike
it's
bat.
Straight up. They called it. What do they call it? A delinquent manga? Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Like it didn't feel as powerful as it is. But again, spike bat gives it a super bonus in my book. Yeah. So
I was down for that. So yeah, they're dealing with, and during the 8 Warriors arc, they do touch on the Kikinoid guy a little bit. I think is that the one that's Kikinoid? Yeah.
So
they touch on him a little bit, and then the Sentai one is in the. Is it the other way around? I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
The Kikinoid is the one with
the bat.
Yeah.
I forget which one. No, it doesn't matter. It's unimportant. They deal with one in each world. So, that thing's doing its thing. And then, yes, Sogo shows up as this cloak dude, as you were saying. And he goes, oh, yeah, I guess I'm Buddha God Man. Or at least I'm going to be in the future.
They really go out of their way to make him like heavy Tendo vibes / early decade appearances. You know what I mean? Like they really want to rewrite that they messed up the show and imply that he's super powerful, which he is. Yeah. But it's just, if that's the route they're going to go, they're going super heavy with it because he doesn't do any of his goofiness anymore.
Yeah, like watching that, I honestly thought he was going to be the reason all the other riders show up, even though I forgot the entire thing where they unfold out of Ichigo. Like I remember that happening when the movie came out. I just completely forgot, so I was like, oh, he's going to be the reason all the riders show up. He's just going to
yeah, he's
going to play patty cake with himself and just summon all of them.
He could be very, very broken, obviously. Yep. So I guess they're going to use him decades, when they have to. But so yeah, and again, it's just all I was saying with that was they give him a different vibe, and I think that's the route that they're going to go with from here on out with him. Yeah. Because the very next one they introduce is Aruto. Yeah. And Aruto is straight up Aruto. Yep. Nothing different, no different vibes.
He's saying he's gonna slap his forehead and summon a copy of himself. I love it. Oh my goodness.
It's such a bad design.
Crenzio sucks.
It's so bad. I mean, no matter how they redo his character, they need to just go straight into Oma. Just give us Oma, man.
But yeah, Aruto shows up in the 8 Dogs series at the end. He's the last one. And I like that there's a line, he does his shtick, right? He does his straight up comedy shtick. And May explains it, I think. Was it May that he did it too? And then May's explaining the joke, and he's like, well, if you explain it, it's not funny.
It was Washi. It was Washi.
It was Washi. That's what it was. Yes, it was Washi. Right before they became, they got their books. And then so Aruto, he starts fighting as 01, and then Toma's like, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, I guess I'm one of the swordsmen.
Yeah, I guess so.
As he's slapping people, he doesn't even have the sword out.
He's just okay. So one thing I will say about the movie that was distracting is a lot of the choreography could have used a little bit of crisping up, just a little bit.
Especially in we'll get to the last chunk in a minute.
It was like, oh, this is very stage show. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. I'm all right. That's fine.
I think part of it is too, at almost every shot or fight in this movie, there's at least 10 people on the screen.
Yeah, super wide angles.
Between the actual characters and then the jobbers and the actual enemies, you know what I mean?
And this is every fight scene, because in every fight there's not a one-on-one in this. There's 17 on 1 in every scene. So it's super hard to follow. You can always pick something to look at in every scene, and that's kind of where it falls apart, because they give you so much to look at. You notice all the whiffs and all the delayed there was so many. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know how to clean that up. Obviously, I'm not a fight choreographer. I have no idea. But
angles,
and I think I don't know. It's also just hard to manage that many people. You know what I mean? That's
absolutely.
For what it was, I thought it was great. It does get a little transformery in the sense that when they're doing their thing, you kind of lose people in the crowds. But other than that, overall, it was fine. Like I said, I think it really shined when they had those, the highlight things, right? When Deca Master starts doing his thing. When Aruto shows up and comes in a little bit, and then he has a little bit of his own thing, and stuff like that. When they highlight a certain character, I think it really shines. But yeah, it does get a little muddled when they're doing the big group fights.
Right, and it's not to say that I think it doesn't take away from a second watch. I think a couple watches is worth a try, because you can always find something else to engage in as you watch the plot.
Peacemaker says it's a Royal Rumble. We'll just punch, kick, and don't break anything.
Peacemaker. Royal Rumble's my jam. I fell out of wrestling. Now, it's a tangent, because this is our specialty. I loved The Rock growing up, bro. And when he stopped back in the first time in 2003. Yeah, I still love The Rock. So, yeah, no love. DJ, mucho love. But anyway.
If you see this, come on the show.
I wouldn't even speak, bro. I'll just be like... and yeah, but But legit, so like I stopped watching regularly, but I always watched the Rumble, even when all the guys that I knew were gone and it was a bunch of new faces. I would still get hype. I'm like, oh, who's the new guy? I have no idea.
Doesn't matter.
Good luck,
it's cool.
Buddy. and then John Cena just kept winning, and I'm like, oh, that
Yep.
And yeah. But anyway, my point is that the Royal Rumbles are my jam. So yes, very much Royal Rumble vibes, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
So but they even went the extra mile too. They even put the logos as they did a roll call.
To finish off like the Journey to the West section, like they do their thing, they fight, they meet some people, and then they get transferred to the Continuum world where everything meets up. And then Asmodeus apparently reveals that the ultimate plan was to use Ishinomori to delete the riders. So he upsets Shotaro, and he starts tearing the pages, which makes them poof like Thanos style into dust.
The whole thing, Shotaro was craft while he was drawing the riders. He just felt like something wasn't there. Yeah. And what it was he didn't understand that, and I touched on it before, was the inner spirit of the theme of
like it wasn't his story, I think is what he says.
Yeah, it's because it didn't feel like what he was originally wanting to do because it's so different. But it doesn't change the heart of it, and that's what he came to understand. And and like you said, and that's like just before this is just after that, but he rips the pages, tears the pages,
everyone starts disappearing, and then
he starts. Oh, and it's really, they do a dope effect with the sand. There's a dope effect with the sand as they poof, like the Thanos snap effect. Mm-hmm. Like it's very. Yeah,
he didn't like how evil these heroes were.
It has that Death of a Power Ranger vibe where they just kind of evaporate. yeah. So I was digging that.
And then it was kind of cool because then like everyone starts disappearing around them. All the people they've met along the way, all their friends go away, and then Saber's the last one, and then he fizzles away. And then you're like, oh damn, okay, what are they gonna do now? And he wakes up in essentially, I don't know if it was a dream. I thought it was the Wonderworld. Yeah, it was like the Space Between from the Forever movie we watched, the Overtime. It was like that kind of thing where he's hanging out with Luna and Kento, living his best life.
It's a dope scene. It's a really dope scene.
This entire like 5-minute scene got me a little choked up.
And this is where the movie won me over. Was I even recorded it on my phone?
It is it is the only thing about it is the worst green screen room since them doing the base.
It is very bad, very bad.
But you know what? Toma rolled with it. He did not break it for a second.
But he remembered those stairs, and he was like, you know what? If I can do that, I can do this.
They actually used the rainbow clip in the flashback. I was like, the balls on this editor.
That's why he was like, remember that? Forgive me.
They actually used it. Oh my goodness.
It's like, you remember that. You do. So anyway, that builds up to the next emotional moment.
Essentially Toma having an existential crisis. Of like, am I just a character in a story? This, that, and the other. And Mei and Ishinomori have teleported into this room, the CG room, and they kind of have a talk where it's, Toma needs him to draw the heroes so that they come back to their lives. And Toma starts writing this new story to essentially save everyone as well. And the idea is like, yes, they may be characters in the story, but like they're necessary because they are heroes.
Because of what they are, yes. And that's what they stand for. And I was like, what a brilliant way to use Toma. What a brilliant way to use Toma, not just his power, Toma himself. The character.
He literally wrote the script for the rest of the movie. Yes, that's what Toma writes.
and that's what happens when you fix when you have the power of retcon.
All I'm saying is, who is more powerful, Toma's God writing or Gaim?
Ooh.
I'm just saying. Did we finally meet someone to match up? I'm waving this modeling
because you have the Jack Kirby thing. Because you have Ishinomori as Jack Kirby, so you can't have one without the other. So yeah, Gaim's better.
No bias in that answer at all. Zero bias.
None at all. Zero. None.
So basically, Ishinomori draws them all back into existence, and then Toma.
He starts with just Ichigo and
Go-Red.
And they're the original voices. And
Go-Ichigo,
that was vibes. I was like, holy crap,
It was
they
pretty
got them
sick.
to do that. I was like, yeah. So they have their fight sequence, and it's just those two
Aka Ranger,
against
there
an
you go.
army. Yeah, and oh, mind you, by the way, the next half hour of the movie is just straight up fight sequence. So
the next half hour of the movie is literally just like toku masturbation. That's all it is.
It's the Royal Rumble that we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's all it is from here on out.
Like they have a really cool actual like summoning sequence and everything. Like Ichigo rolls in on his bike. Aka Red does like a flip over and does like a hero pose landing. And I was like, yeah,
so
okay, here we
I was
go.
like, yep, here we go.
And then they fold out of them.
They Kagebushin into
Yeah.
all the other like Ichigo does like a shadow after image of all the other riders.
Kagebushin. He just and they all
And
come
it's
out of him, all the main riders. And then
the same
Aka
thing
Red
with
does the
Go
same
Red.
thing with all the Reds.
Yeah.
So
And
it's cool. It's a sick scene.
All of them. And they form this super lineup, but it's all red. So
They got a red V and then the Kamen Rider V.
Yeah, but it's so dope.
I'm not gonna lie. I had to go back and hunt this man down. I didn't think they included Shin. I had to go back and frame by frame to find
I
him.
don't remember him in there. Is he
He's
in there?
in the lineup. I don't think he's in actually any of the fight scenes.
So they managed to hide him in all the movies.
He's also
but keep him
like only a quarter of the way out. I feel like he might have been photoshopped in there.
It's a cardboard. They're like, shit,
And
we forgot
this
shit.
is one of my biggest problems. Someone needs to just let Shin live his life.
He's not. I'm sorry. We don't talk about Shin, bro. He's just there.
He's on a stand because his suit is so destroyed at this point, apparently. So they literally photoshopped him in there.
Damn.
Oh no, he's all the disrespect, my boy Shin.
The moths
sorry.
got to the suit and they destroyed the suit. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Goodness gracious. But yeah,
So-
I had to I finished the movie and I was like, wait a minute. He's in the. I thought they were going to skip him in the credits too, because in the credits they're showing every season, right? I thought they were going to skip him in the credits because they were rolling through a bunch of Sentai, and then they're doing it by year too.
That's funny.
And it was like, oh, Black RX, are they going to do it? Oh my God, are they going to do it? I didn't see him in the movie. Where is he? Oh my God, are they going to do it?
He's like,
and then it was like Shin, and it was clearly just like a really terrible screen cap.
this is Shin right here. He's just like, it's
It's just like here, cut off here. Ridiculous,
fine.
my boy Shin.
I love it.
Oh man. And then so they do the whole lineup, and then they do the big fight, right? Like all these bad guys show up, all these jobbers show up.
Hold on, I gotta see. Oh my God, there he goes.
He's just photoshopped in there. I was like, God damn, okay.
That's fantastic.
Poor Shin.
He's just like, I'm here, guys. Still here.
Right?
I'm
New
fine.
meaning to that meme from Decade where he's like, I'm here too.
We'll never do him justice. I'm sorry,
Oh
brother.
my
I'm sorry.
God. Like, they need to do Shin
It's the
Shin
one-
is what they need to do.
It's the one button that nobody will ever touch when it comes to mentioning Shin, because
Toei,
it's
give me Shin. I'll do something with it. I'll literally do anything with it. It'll be cool.
it would be, wouldn't it?
It'd be sick.
It would be.
I would work some magic with Shin if someone let me.
We'll touch back on that when we get to an adaptation episode. I want to know your take on Shin. That's
I
not
just
just straight up
want Shin to have
Amazon's.
the love. I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right? Like it's
I was
Amazon's
just saying,
reskinned
what's
Shin.
gonna be it's gonna be Amazon's. And
Yeah, I mean,
maybe a lot more wet. Like,
Absolutely
everything is
more
covered in
wet.
slime. It's gonna be Guyver 2 with like the Nickelodeon slime.
it's
Just
literally
buckets
literally gonna
of
be
it.
Guyver 2 with Shin photoshopped onto the entire movie and like rotoscoped
It's
to
the
match.
stand-in. It's just the
Yeah.
stand-in the whole time.
But like it just moves across the screen perfectly still the whole time.
All the fight scenes are just
It's like turned sideways and like kicking people. But you don't rotoscope out Guyver, so the movie's just playing behind it. I love it.
just-
I'm gonna edit this.
the Mega Buster is gonna come from his mouth. It's just
I love
All right.
it.
I'm sorry.
Oh
Poor
my
Shin.
goodness, poor Shin.
Shin.
My man, I love you. I'll love you. If I'm the only one who does, I'll love you.
Poor shit.
Oh my god. So yeah, that was my big thing. That was the big pain point where I was like, come on, man, where's my boy Shin?
I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. One day he'll get his due.
One day.
Until then, he'll live in our head canon.
I don't think
awesome
speaking of which, I mean, he's not necessarily a main series writer, but I don't think Omega was in there either. Amazon's was, but I don't think Omega was. Like Amazon's Omega.
I think they're gonna just encompass Amazon's because that's like very.
I assume they were just doing the actual series things. That's fine. But yeah, so the big fight ensues, and then they break them into chunks, which is the coolest and also a little overstayed thing that they did.
Oh yeah, because it got very contrived, and the point is that the suits all had the same theme.
Yeah, so the whole thing is like they have the same theme where the space. They do a really cool one that's all the ninjas. So like Zakross is in there, all the ninja riders.
Yeah, I mean,
like, very Kenzan's in there doing his thing, and then they got Hurricaneer, Kaku Ranger, all these guys.
Oh yeah, Kenzan does like a dope ass hurricane, like a very lucha libre-esque twisty thing.
Yeah,
that was dope.
The Frankenstein kind of thing. It was very cool.
I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, oh shit, that was dope.
That one stuck out to me the most. I thought that was really cool. Just because I was like, oh damn, all these ninjas, that's sick. Like I would love for that to be its own little special. You know how they did the crossover, like Kamen Riders become a Sentai team thing? I would love for like the Ninja Rangers and Riders to just have their own crossover. Like if they're gonna do a Shinobi, quote unquote, maybe have him lead the team, and then if they're gonna bring him back for this year,
Ninja Riders would be dope.
Yeah, bro. And then you have the Shinobis with like the Ninja Riders and Sentai. I think that would be really freaking cool. Get Jirai in there.
Is it really likely to be Shinobi this year though? Like how crazy would it be if they took the Shinobi theme and like, okay, we know we made a joke, but like here's what
people kind of really love our joke.
But I mean, that's what I mean. Like, give us a real probably not like a copy of that. Like, I would say leave that as is, but do a Shinobi that's something new. Yeah. That's what I would do. But,
yeah. I just think that'd be really cool. Like, Shinobi leads the ninja crew. Like, that'd be sick.
I would dig it.
Peacemaker saying that all the on-screen actors voiced the suits, sometimes badly. I was actually going to ask. I thought some of those were like stand-in voices. So I guess they're just badly voice acted.
So one of the moments, like you said, you noticed Shin stood out of place. There was one moment during the initial charge. I forget which ranger it was, but one of the rangers was not in the best condition to be running. And it looked like he was very uncomfortable in his suit.
I don't know.
It was super distracting in that slow motion shot that they chose him to be in the background of. I was like, why him there in that moment?
Let's put a nail in that, because the last scene that we have Ishinomori and Ichigo, I have a comment that relates to that. Okay. So we'll put a pin in that. Okay. So yeah, they go through, they have all their crews. There's like a dragon crew, there's a ninja crew, there's a magic crew. Yeah. At one point, Ghost literally flies in Imagine's slingshot thing and
Ghost
fires.
is dope again for a second, by the way. Ghost
I was like, oh, that's cool.
I will say.
But yeah, you're getting all this stuff, and like, also like we were saying though, it's kind of just like watching things move. I don't really know what's going on, but there's a lot happening.
Yeah, there was no super objective in the fight other than beat the bad guys.
And like they show the logos of the Rangers that are in each section, but like the scenes go so fast, I couldn't tell who all of them were at a glance. Like it's one of those things where I would definitely have to watch a couple times to really, I think, appreciate all of those scenes, and just kind of see like what everyone's doing, because there is so much going on.
Yeah,
it was pretty sick though. I dig it.
It is dope.
Like I said, at this point in the movie, it is all fan service. It is literally like there's fan service throughout this whole movie, but this is literally just watch your favorite thing do some things.
Yes, and it was amazing.
It was great.
And
it was fun.
I will absolutely watch this movie again. So Asmodeus finally, all of his generals are beaten, and they use their ultimate unified super attack after Toma and Kaito become the fusion form, right? They become.
Was it before? No. So
that's after this.
That's after, yeah.
That's after. Sorry.
Before this is, remember he turned to the dragon, then he turned back.
Right. So before that, they use a very powerful attack against him.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty much all of their finishers, kind of thing. Like he just kind of eats it.
Yeah, he eats it, blocks it, and then we have the cameo of the movie.
But the big before he becomes a dragon, he calls them out for reusing so many ideas. After we get this kind of montage of the groups. And there's like multiple Dragon Riders, multiple ninjas. He's like, well, you guys don't have any original ideas anyway, so what does it matter?
And mind you, the whole time they're throwing logos up there so that to help you remember who they are.
Yep.
They're throwing like their catchphrases. So it's very, like you said, very homage-y, very tribute-y, very heavy. So it's that line that also has like a double punch. It's like, oh wow, okay.
I thought that was so funny that he was like, you don't have any original ideas, and then he just eats this huge like attack from everyone, and then he becomes the Yu-Gi-Oh dragon. He becomes the blue eyes black dragon, whatever you want to call it.
That's before the Revice appearance.
Yes, because they actually destroy him.
Yeah. So Revice shows up, and it's actually that Vice's. He drops down in very super ominous, like dope look. He's all grim and dark.
I thought it was going to be Kiva, honestly. Like I thought that was the Red Moon Kiva thing. I was like, oh damn. And then it was Revice.
No. Yeah, it's Vice. And then they have their scene, and then I was like, damn, this is like just like Double's first appearance where they.
That's immediately what I
was like. Well. This is exactly the same vibes as Double's debut,
coming in and messing up Shadow
Moon.
They
stomp the shit out of this guy, and like. They're the reason that he becomes that blue eyes white dragon red eyes form. Like it was crazy. Like to see it happen without the bias that I have towards Double, I was like, damn, that kind of hurt. But I get it. That's the implication that this is a next level of power.
With this cameo with Revice, with Revi and Vice, I think if we just had this instead of that weird ass Saber episode, the initial view of Revice would have been substantially different. And that's obviously not barring, the crazy lawsuit and the voice actor and all that nonsense. Just the initial view of Revice going into it, I think would have matched more of the energy it has now that people have kind of come around to, if this was the intro we had and not that weird ass episode.
Absolutely, because you have the suffering from the lack of the
T-Rex run into the combo was kind of sick. Like that was pretty sick when he gets the legs and just starts running around like a crazy person.
They stop him. They do the genome remix without doing the weird pose. He just gets the big ass feet and then they kick him, and then it does the stamp with the 50 sign, and that's it. Kicks him into the dragon form because he just abandons hope at that point. You have it then Then they fuck off, like legit, just like Double. For some reason, they're like, "Yep, that was it. Okay, we're done."
Peacemaker says, if you saw this in movies, you also had the 30-minute special for Revice. That's unfortunate.
Well,
like, did it play before the movie or after? Because if it played after, I'd be very disappointed. Like, if he did it and then jumped back to the Saber episode, I would have been like, "What the hell?"
Oh god, no.
Like, oh man, that sucks. That is very unfortunate. That is a very hot and cold kind of thing. I don't like that.
No.
But yeah, so when he gets into this dragon form, I honestly don't remember at this point.
Kaiser shows up.
And all
the Zords show up.
All the Zords and everything that can shoot anything shows up.
Everything goes at this dragon and gets individual shots off, and eventually they stomp it back and it drops down.
Oh, it's a little more than that, because I was like, oh, here's where the Sentai are gonna have their thing, right? The Kamen Riders are like, we need to go help, and just start hopping on random machines flying around, and then they get big dumb anime weapons out of nowhere. Big dumb energy anime weapons. I was like, I'm not going to question it. This is kind of dope. It's stupid, but it's kind of dope.
Yeah.
I remember Durandal's trident grows bigger than the Time Force shuttle thing. And I was like, what the hell is happening? This is insanity.
Awesome is happening. Stop questioning it. Let it happen.
And then the last thing is basically the Showa riders all riding one straight down. I don't remember which mech it was. Riding one straight down, and Ichigo goes, "We have to finish this." So they all rider kick at the speed that this shuttle was going and jump off it.
Every rider kicked him. Okay?
And then he just rolls back to his normal form. That's how hard they hit him. They de-evolved him. I was like, damn.
So, then they'd stomp him back to his normal form.
Oh my god.
Crushes him, bro.
Oh my god.
I love it.
So stupid. I loved it.
I love it. then you have the fusion form. I'm sorry, they do the fusion form as the kick is happening.
Toma
the,
reveals the book. He says, you know, this is the chronicle. This is the ending of the movie. This is the script of the movie here. And then he says, Kaido, I need your power. And Kaido just
I get another shot that moment.
Yeah. Kaido was like, okay, and becomes a Wonder Ride book. And then we get the superhero Senki suit. What do you think of the superhero Senki suit?
As a repaint, I forgave it a long time ago because they never used it again in the show. Like, if it was something that was bashed in our faces as is what it is and it was just a repaint of that, like Krossover, that's I forgive it more than Krossover. I'm gonna say that.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up if anyone's watching live, I'm gonna pull up the superhero Senki suit.
I know that's your jam though. I know you like it.
I love this suit. I think it looks very cool. I am still mad that they took the Dragonic Knight helmet. I'm still very upset about that because that is still the best suit in the Reiwa era, in my opinion. So, yes,
so far,
I said yes.
So far.
Rampage Gatling and that one flip week to week, but you know, why doesn't he use the cross saber sword as a sword since it started with the sword? We don't ask questions, Peacemaker. We just accept the stupid, okay? But yes, that is a good point actually. Why doesn't he use the cross saber sword? He was using it when he put it in there. So
because they can't use it too much. Because every time I see the cross saber sword, I think of the Kusanagi sun.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really dig this suit. I think the Zenkaiser shoulders, the Zenkaiser top is just super cool. I love it. Or the Zenkaiser, I should say. And then the helmet is, you know, Dragonic Knight, so of course I'm gonna love it. But yeah, I do dig this suit.
Yeah. But then we have after they kill him, after the dust settles, they all unfusion, and for me the moment of the movie happens when Ichigo talks to Shotaro in the aftermath.
He rolls up and he goes, "Sensei, is that you?
Bro,
is that
come
really
on,
you?" And I was like, oh my god.
I was like, I need a second. I wasn't ready. Oh my god. Because, bro, only he could give us that level of performance. And mind you, bro, this is a kid's show. This is a kid's movie.
It's not just Ichigo in suit. Hongo de-henshins, and it's straight up Hongo himself talking to Ishinomori. Like real life right now Hongo, who when I said put a pin into it, I'm pretty sure they did that because this man can't walk anymore and his knees are exploded. So yes.
So they did right to posture him very subtly. He does get on the bike, so maybe they saved his cries and they cut it right before then. But before that, like I said, I want to stress that because the whole point of this movie is this moment that he has between him and Shotaro, because only his performance sells that can't be dialogue. Like you're looking at him at a nearly 80-year-old man who I don't know how old he is, but he's a very old man talking to the representation of this spirit that he did this journey on. You know what I mean? Like it was that, and his delivery of the whole thing was genuine, coming from his heart. Like he wasn't even talking to the actor at that point. He was talking to the idea that this is for Ishinomori. And what he relayed was his feelings that it's not about this is your creation. You gave everything meaning, everything life. What becomes of it because of your gift.
Yeah. And that's why I think, like we were talking about earlier, like other Tysons have a very similar message where it's like heroes, great, justice, all that. But like
Captain America.
This moment is what sets that apart, I think. He's 74. Thank you, Peacemaker.
I said almost 80.
Almost 80. So like this moment really sets that apart because it is a very heartfelt, like, oh my God, I genuinely love this stuff. Like I love Kamen Rider. It is such an integral part to my life. And like Sentai is very integral as well, not nearly to the level that Kamen Rider is, but like watching Hongo kind of have that same thing where he's like, you don't understand, like people around the world, this has become a facet of their life. And like you should be so proud of that. I was like, oh my God, it hurts.
Stop, bro. I was not ready.
Oh no. It was literally like 7:30 this morning when I'm watching this movie, and I was like, I was not ready for chaos.
I was refilling my coffee with my tears. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it was legit, bro.
It was such a good scene. And then they have him do like a weird green screen like right away. That was weird, but
that's okay. They let it go.
I was
let
like,
it go.
Oh man, this scene is so good. I'm getting a little choked up. This is great.
So ultimately, you know, they wrap up the movie. Everybody goes and does their own thing. Hongo it goes, evaporates, and then Shotaro goes to his hometown and basically resets the timeline. So that's it, and the movie's over. And then you have your collage of all the groups as the credits are rolling.
And it's cool because they link it up by year too. So like if, you know, there's in the 90s, there was really just the trilogy. There was the Zeto, Zeto, Shin, and J. And it was cool to see that they lined it up, and I was like, oh, they're moving. That's when I thought, you know, Shin wasn't going to be there, because like a couple Sentai went by, then they switched it over, and then once it's Kuga again, it lines up. What's up, Ziegler? How you doing? It lines up, you know, year to year and that kind of thing. And I also forgot some of the ones that were with the Kamen Riders. Like I said, I've always been more of a Kamen Rider guy, and I forgot some of the ones that aired with Kamen Riders, and it was a really cool, like, it was just credits rolling. Like, they didn't do anything crazy fancy with this. It's literally just pictures and credits rolling next to them. But I was thinking, like, this is crazy. Like, back in 2012, I was super into watching Wizard and Kyuranger, and like Tokuger came after that and all this kind of stuff, and like just that whole era of like 2010 to 2014 is like when you got into it and we really started enjoying it together. And like it was just so cool to think back on, like, honestly, where it's my journey through Kamen Rider's been. Like, I remember watching Ryuki for the first time on Crunchyroll. I've told that story a million times. And then like going through Kabuto weekly and all this, and like it was so cool. Such a simple credit thing where I could just like absorb and think and like enjoy these franchises. And I'm glad that it wasn't this crazy like Kaido, Toma, you know what I mean? Like some crazy thing. They just let it rock. They let the power of what you just saw and that scene you just saw just do its thing.
Yeah,
I thought that was brilliant.
And it is a perfect way to end this movie, because it was just, I was like, you know what? This whole thing was worth it. I don't care my gripes about it. I'll hang those up and we'll talk about them one time, because this movie's always going to be right here for me.
It was great. It was very fun. You know, like any Tyson, it has issues, but yeah, it is a very good movie. I highly suggest everyone go watch it. At least once. Like it's if nothing else, it's
to you,
probably, I would say it's probably my favorite Tyson, except maybe the first Gaim one. The superhero Tyson, the Kamen Rider Tyson.
That kind of has a soft spot, though. That was my first one. Never forget your first, bro.
It's fine because it's one of the best Spring Tyson movies, because it's a low bar. Yes, it is a very low bar. But, I mean, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I really did.
The meaning behind this is going to be hard to replace.
One thing I forgot to mention was we get a legitimate roll call from the Saber Riders. A straight up, I am Kamen Rider Durandal. I am Kamen Rider Sabella.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
And again, it's been a minute since we finished Saber, but I'm pretty sure that's the first time we've heard most of them call themselves Kamen Rider whatever. Like Kamen Rider Kenzan, Kamen Rider Saber. You know, I feel like that's the first time we've heard most of them say their actual names.
I'm watching it right now. It's about 50 minutes into the movie or so.
Yeah, so they do a full roll call, the whole Saber crew, all 9 swordsmen or whatever it is. They all do their names. They do, you know, they do the same book thing that they always done. They just actually say their name. And I thought that was such a cool thing, because I am a sucker for roll calls. Not a secret. Not a secret at all.
Not something we hide from in this show.
Nope. Not at all. Oh my goodness. But I thought that was really cool, and I just wanted to mention that, because if nothing else, you can probably find that clip, and it was a very cool roll call. And then the Zenkaisers had their roll call too. They had to get it in there.
They have to.
I honestly would not have minded if all 45 Sentai just did their full roll calls with their whole teams, but that's just me. Like I said, I'd watch a 3-hour roll call. That's fine.
We would just sit and just be like, okay, and it's like the big disclaimer comes on, buckle up, and that's it.
The roll call cut is what they call it.
yeah, just buckle up, because we're gonna do all the riders and all the Sentai. Buckle the fuck up. Let's go.
I'd be all for it. That'd be so cool. I watch these things on YouTube all the time.
There's no shine, no cutting away. It's straight up every henshin.
It is a 7-hour movie. 5.5 of those are roll calls. Let's do this.
I love it.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So that is Superhero Senki. Go watch it, man. Go watch it. It's
our
very
stamp
cool.
of approval.
Got my stamp of approval. It's got that big KC on there.
Yeah, bro. This was a great movie.
Yeah. Any other closing thoughts on the movie?
No, man. I'm looking forward to what we're gonna. I'm looking forward to going back to our normal pessimistic selves because, damn it, all this positivity
in our
and
old age.
this good feelings. Like I'm like, all right, this power of positivity has been great. Saber's over. I need some pessimism back in my life. Time to start tearing shit
these
apart.
bad moods back in here. I'm liking too many things.
Hey, legit. I'm like, I'm having too much fun. It's time to be mad.
Mark says, "Bring on the negativity."
It's time, bro. I'm feeling
Very
bad.
cool.
So let's do it.
Let's check out some news then. If you are done with Superhero Senki, we can close the page on that book.
Boom. Awesome.
See what I did there? I used that joke before when we did Saber. I brought
Damn
it
it,
back.
you're good.
You know, I gotta bring it back around.
Tie back to like previous episodes and stuff. It's
Yeah,
great.
that was
We're
episode
doing
like
it.
42. Go back
It's like
and
we're
watch that
getting
one
better
too.
at this.
Don't do it now though, because we're live and I don't want you to leave. Thanks.
No, don't go. Please
Don't go.
We have abandonment issues.
Don't
Please.
leave me. Please don't leave me.
So
Yeah, so some news. Is there anything off the top of your head that kind of piques your interest, or you saw that you want to bring up out before I just go through the list here?
just that I wanted to join that. The link we were talking about earlier.
The link we were talking about earlier.
Said you wanted to join it. You had joined it. You wanted me to join it. We're gonna join it together.
Oh.
The cult.
Oh wait. Oh, the effing
Is
cool
there a
thing.
Sacrifice. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. So effing cool was looking for some new talent and things like that. I applied for it myself. I'll let you guys know if anything happens. So yeah. Other than that, the big story. I think we should just kind of get this one out of the way. There was, I don't know if you saw this at all, but there was some, let's say, drama around a certain reveal this week, or it might have been last week at this point.
A reveal.
Yes.
I didn't know.
So they revealed
reveals.
a new figure arts that is an all-black Ichigo, part of the Mastermind Japan crossover, and it kind of stirred up some negativity.
Really.
Yeah.
All black, as in shadow, as in opacity, as in.
It's straight up just black. Yeah, like it's the whole thing is just pure black. It's kind of cool looking, actually. I kind of dig it. But unfortunately, I think there was some mixed messages, and just people are a little sensitive right now when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Thank you.
And yes, I just put it in the Discord. I'll bring up a picture here in a second. So Team Rider had mentioned that there's going to be a reveal, of course, like always. Everyone got super hype about it. And then when the figure dropped, they tweeted something along the lines of, this is the first P Bandai figure arts. Let's prove that we really want to, get more of this stuff. And a lot of people, they wanted it to be a kind of joking manner because they know, that we buy this stuff. They know that. They're fans too.
Okay.
But it was taken very negatively as, why do I have to prove it? And there was a couple videos of people doing things like showing all their CSMs that they've bought that have been released, showing all their DXs, the few that they have been released, things like that. And it stirred a very negative tone.
It didn't quite garner the response that they were
it was very unexpected. They did, they put out an official apology.
I see.
Yeah, it kind of put a sour taste for the week, I think, because a lot of people feel like, hey, I've been buying all of this stuff. What do you mean I have to prove it more?
Yeah, I mean, you're taking a lot. I mean, you're taking stuff that we do for granted because it's not like we take what we can get too, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of the guys on Team Rider, and they are good dudes. They do have their best in mind. I think it was just a badly timed and received message, honestly. And
I mean, hey,
it's their message. They're trying to bring this stuff across. I think everyone just is kind of at their limit with that kind of thing at this point, and they want to see some kind of change. But I think it was done with positive intent. I don't think it was any kind of
as some things, even positive intent, you aren't free from the consequence of that. No good deed even then. So
yeah,
I understand.
So I mean, it's just one of those things where I feel like the positive intent was there. It's just
absolutely, and you can't
ill-timed. That's all.
You learn.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it won't.
We move forward. We move on. But yes, and then Peacemaker just mentioned it in the chat, and then immediately the next day they announced the Revi and Vice SH figure arts. So everyone was a little like, oh, we kind of thought this was going to be the announcement. So it was a weird time. It was just weird timing on a lot of things, and everyone was kind of just in a glass case of emotion, if you will.
I understand. People, I mean, everybody.
I get it. We're a very passionate fan base. We want our stuff, and we all want easier access to it because we do jump through that stuff. I just, it is what it is. But yeah, they announced the SH figure arts for Revice as well. You got Vice and Revy in here. Pretty sick.
Great.
There is also with that link I was talking about, the all black Ichigo. There is a video out. I don't know what Mastermind is, honestly. I think it's a clothing brand or something like that. There's a little trailer that goes with it. It didn't have anything to do with Kamen Rider. I don't know. It had very little Kamen Rider and all of some other dude in some clothes. But yeah, it's it is what it's a crossover. It's a branding crossover. So
when we buy our Revy and Vice, can we just do these poses with them and just periodically release them before we do the episodes?
Yes, we're just gonna do Revy and Vice poses. That's all we're gonna do now.
We're just gonna do remix poses, and that's just gonna be, it's just gonna get super, super. We're gonna be super Ginyu Force.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, if we get a full crew, like a full 5-man crew week to week, we're doing Ginyu poses. That's all
the
it is.
Ginyu poses has to be.
Absolutely. Some other things that were announced. There's a new trailer for the O's 10th anniversary trailer.
I'm excited about that freaking movie, dude.
That thing
my God.
looks sick, and every trailer looks even more sick. And we got this preview for the I don't know what you want to call it. It's like the bad dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We forgot to mention that in this movie, we did get the happy birthday cameo.
Yes. In Superhero Senki, we get the happy birthday for Revice, for the new rider.
Revice.
Birth of a new rider.
Oh my God, that was dope. So anyway, to tie into our talk now. See, I did what you did earlier. But anyway, so the happy birthday dude.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? See, I had it. And
O's 10th anniversary. I don't know. Either way.
Well, how do you pronounce the villain's name? Because I'm sorry, that's what it was. Is it Gouda?
Gouda? I'm gonna go with Gouda. Gouda sounds great.
Gouda? Like the cheese?
Yeah.
Because I saw
Gouda.
these, or is it Gouda? I
love Gouda, so we're gonna go with Gouda.
Gouda, okay.
Gouda cheese.
So he is
smoked Gouda.
Gouda.
A good smoked Gouda. It's actually spelled Gouda. I think it's Gouda.
That's what I was.
I think it's Gouda, but we're gonna call him Gouda.
He's Gouda for now.
Yeah, smoked Gouda is great.
Sure.
Yeah. So we got a new look at the suit. This is the Gouda O's. I think he possesses AG for a little bit. That's why he gets the hair and everything. Yeah. So this is the new. It looks like a centipede on top, I think, and then all kinds of spiky horn things. It's on the screen now if you're watching live.
It's scary looking.
It's pretty sick looking. And then he has a black hole in his chest.
Yeah, but I think it's meant to be like probably a big coin, like a big.
I assume, but it's just kind of like a black hole looking thing, and it's kind of sick.
It's like a butthole.
And then we also get another look at. I'll just roll the trailer on mute here on the screen. We get another look at. I think it's the Infinite O's. Is there what they're calling it, or that might be Kamen Rider AG? We get the
Infinite O's. That's a dope name.
I don't know what it's called. It's the one that looks like Ankh. It's that one.
Okay.
We get a little bit better look at that because Kamen Rider Ankh is apparently a thing in this movie. I don't know if they just haven't revealed it or if that's what he is. But yeah, no, this, and then, AG hasn't aged a day. And yeah, none of them have aged a day, it looks like, honestly.
Not much. I mean, Ankh looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of crow's feet, but
Tajador Combo Eternity is what it's called.
That's even better.
Yeah.
That's even better. Infinite O's has a faster ring, but Tajador Eternity.
That's pretty sick. I dig it. I like it. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited. I'm not even that big of an O's head, but I'm excited. And then we saw a little bit of what's his name? Why can I not think of Birth? What's his name? Akira. Date. There we go.
Date Akira. Yeah.
We see a little bit of his new form. Guts. I'm just gonna call him Guts because it's the voice actor of Guts. Yeah, the trailer's pretty sick. You can find it over on tokusatsu.net. They have it there, and then Goto gets the new form called Birth X. Oh, it's Goto who gets it, not Date. Okay.
Goto. Subarashi Goto.
Yeah, Goto was annoying. I didn't like Goto. But again, this is off my memory from 10 years ago, so who knows? Who knows? One other major thing they announced when it comes to shows, there is a Apple TV Godzilla series coming from Legendary.
Really?
Yeah. It takes place in the Monsterverse, has to do with the Monsterverse, and is canon to Le Monsterverse. I'm just gonna say MonsterVerse 100 more times.
Yes,
but
that's okay.
Apparently, we're getting a Godzilla TV show, and I think I put it up on Twitter. I think Singularity Point, despite its issues, proves that you can have a solid 26 episode series with Godzilla. So I'm excited with we're doing it in the MonsterVerse, what they can get, what we can see. I'm hoping they explore some of the Titans that we didn't get to see in the movies and kind of just flush out some of the new ones, some of the older ones. You know, we get, Anguirus in there. We saw the skeleton at one point. Maybe we can get like a real Anguirus in there. Behemoth was in there. That was one of the newer ones. It'd just be cool to explore some of that stuff that we didn't get to see in the movies that they kind of just glossed over, whether it was King of the Monsters or...
Give us a dope Hedorah. Oh my god.
Ooh, legendary Hedorah could be kind of cool. Could be kind of sick.
And a dope ass Biollante. Oh my god, yes.
I don't even know if they can use Biollante. That is a copyright nightmare.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they haven't really re-released that.
We'll go into that. Say that because I'm interested.
Gabra and Megalon, that'd be cool to see. Yeah, Megalon. Megalon would be fun. I'm excited to see what they do. I hope it's kind of like a better version of Godzilla Monster Island, honestly. I just want to see a bunch of monsters do monster things. That's all I want to see. But also, that's what we signed up for. Apple TV and Legendary, if you see this, I want to be in the show. So, this guy in the show. Thank you.
Just as a further option in case, your main actor happens to, get hit by a car twice.
I mean, whatever kid's going to be the main actor, if you need another large child with a beard, let me know. Who probably acts about a quarter of as good. I guess
you better warm up the pipes because we're gonna have to record that first episode of Kamen Rider Tokudon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that soon. And then other than that, there were some toy announcements. Chimera from Trigger was announced for an SH figure art. They also announced a Kamen Rider Gaim CSM Loxy Yggdrasil set. It has
don't say that so fast just because it's not Blade. Go back and say that.
Yggdrasil.
Oh my god.
So I was about to get into what it is. It's Kamen Rider Kurakage, Pinecone Arms, Lemon Arms from Duke, Idun Apple Arms, Baron Apple Arms, and Bujin Gaim Blood Orange. So it's essentially like the movies in the
Bujin Gaim is
which one calls it?
As a rename.
Savor Blood Pomegranate. So cool.
Is that a new one?
It's from the V cinemas, I think.
Okay.
But I always liked Pomegranate. I always thought that was a cool looking one. And then so it comes all those, and then the plates that match them as well. So you get all your CSM plates. If you have a CSM, do it. They're doing all kinds of stuff for that. So what else we got on here? I think that's really it for the major stuff, honestly.
Probably.
Just want to take a quick peek. A whole bunch of other toys and stuff were announced. They announced the Ultra Arts 100 for the Shinkocho Seiho Ultraman as well, if you guys are into the toys. Oh, and this is a great one too. Dino Fury was nominated for a GLAAD Award, and it celebrates the representation and inclusion of media for LGBTQ persons or issues.
I did hear that. Yes,
and Tessa Rao, the one who plays Izzy. Is that her name in the show? I forget. Yeah, Izzy Garcia.
Izzy.
She, is part of that as well. So very cool to see.
That is dope. Yeah,
getting recognized for that, representation. I appreciate it.
I feel like not just because of the whole momentum behind her, but I feel like in terms of the story, I'm up to like maybe episode 12, 14 of Dino Fury. So I definitely have a way to go yet. But I feel like the way that this character could develop could be like not as core as Tommy, but as like a Billy character, as somebody who has an impact on the story going forward, and is something that can
kind of sticks around as a secondary,
become as like an archetype or something like that, because she's definitely her own in the way that she's being developed, at least as far as I've gotten. So maybe we'll see how it goes, but my opinion of her is pretty high in terms of a Power Rangers character, not just because of the momentum behind her, but it's definitely amazing to see what they're doing with it now. Like, dude, Power Rangers winning awards? Come on.
That's pretty sick.
Come on.
Yeah. And it kind of came out of nowhere, too, I feel like, which is also very cool. Other than that, the only other thing they really announced is that, speaking of Gao Ranger, they announced the Shogukan modeling project, the SMP, Gao Icarus, and it will combine with Gao Hunter. So you can get the final Megazord, if you will. So they haven't released anything other than a silhouette. But yeah, that's pretty sick. I'm down for that. How about a customized Ultraman Aspie? I do not know what that is, Secret. I don't know who Aspie is. But I mean, I'm down for that. Down for customizing things.
we always got to learn new stuff, man.
Yeah,
that's my job.
And then I think that was just about it. I don't think that was really it. I think they announced the new Ultraman. I don't remember what its name is, or they said it was going to happen, something like that. I don't remember. I'm just trying to take a quick peek and look.
I think it was just a movie. I don't know if it was
it a movie.
Actual...
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, I think it was just a movie that they announced. I think we covered that before. But anyway,
yeah. Very cool, very cool. And Ultraman Dyna Anniversary. That's what I was thinking of, because we talked about it last time. And it was they're kind of just rolling through the series, giving some info on the stuff that happened before. There's new casting news for the Revice special. Don't know who that is.
Interesting.
Yeah. Ultraman Aspie is Ultraman with Asperger's for the autistic Ultraman fan base. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that. They did Parahero. That was cool. I mean, I'd be down for their own. Doesn't even have to be like an Ultraman. It could just be their own hero.
That's what I wanted to check out too.
We did not finish Trigger. We talked about it earlier. I am on episode 3 currently. I started it right after I finished that. So, Ginpachiro from Drive is back. Ginpachiro.
From Drive?
Yeah, from Drive. Oh, the detective guy. The goofy one who hangs out. Interesting.
Oh, wait. Now, I guess we can catch up on Revice next episode, but is his belt sentient?
I have no idea. I haven't watched in a couple of episodes.
I hope, and we'll check again.
Burrito Rex was the last episode I saw.
I hope he's getting a sentient belt. That's gonna be dope if it is.
Okay.
Because the preview I saw for the trailer, he's talking to it, or it's talking to him, or something like that. Let's see how it goes.
Very cool.
We'll check it.
I mean, I'm down for that. I mean, you got this whole demons thing going on. I'm curious. I'm sure demons will get something eventually if he doesn't die first.
They haven't killed him yet.
They haven't killed him yet. I mean,
they're gonna turn him into another Gentoku. So
maybe he'll just become a demon instead.
That would be dope. That would be relevant.
Demons would be spoilers for next week. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I think that was all about I had. Did you have a shout out for this week? Do you want to highlight a Toku you wanted to highlight?
I didn't have one. Nope, not yet.
Okay, I do have one for us. This is actually an indie toku that I want to check out. It looks like we have a couple episodes that are out already, so you can check it out on YouTube. It is called Immortal Red Fox. I don't know if anyone has seen this trailer before, but it is very cool looking and very sick. These designs are pretty cool too. I like it a lot. It looks like there's some dubs. It's an Indonesian toku. Indonesian indie toku.
Gotcha.
There we go.
I see it.
But yeah, like it looks pretty cool. The guy, let me bring up the screen here. He's got this really cool scarf going on, and Red Fox. He's got the Red Fox thing. I dig these suits, and there's some pretty decent effects, and it's a little goofy, a little fun, a little serious. From what I've seen, it's awesome. So I'm gonna shout that one out. Maybe we'll check it out for an episode or two. There's only a couple episodes out since we checked out Power Rangers Unworthy as well. I'd be down for that. Please go give them a follow. They're on YouTube, or subscribe, I should say. Immortal Red Fox.
I like it.
Yeah.
Dope.
Anything else? You got anything else for us today?
No, guys. Just make sure you check us out at Tokudon official.
What is this show we're doing? We've only been doing it for 2.5 years. It's fine.
Yeah, man. It's 2.5 years. Feels like just yesterday we started. Wasn't it just yesterday? Anyway,
we did say, speaking to that for a second, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry. But we were like randomly, like I posted up the episode and I was like, dude, we did 46 fucking episodes the other day.
And I'm like,
46.
When you said, yeah, we covered that back in episode 17, I was like, episode 17?
I heard your pupils dilate. It's in the audio. What?
Oh my God, bro.
Crazy. And thank you guys, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. I'm not going to speak for Rob, but I'm sure he feels the same. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and listening to us and putting up with our bullshit. From the bottom of our hearts, we greatly appreciate it.
I love you.
Yes.
So, yes.
Every week you guys come hang out, listen to us ramble. Appreciate it.
It gives me something to look forward to.
It's super fun, and life is stressful with the world the way it is. So
next episode we're gonna check out Dogengers with our boy Mark.
Yeah, we have a special guest, our boy nerd named Mark, who's hanging out in the chat right now. Is gonna be joining us. We're gonna watch some Dogengers, and then we're also gonna be talking about the 18th Blade anniversary because that is mandatory. Absolutely mandatory.
Fine.
So we'll be talking about that, and then we'll check out some Doke Enters as well. Go ahead, Key. I interrupted you plugging your stuff. Go back to plugging your stuff.
Check me. I'm still looking for guys. If you guys want to check out the story, definitely we're gearing up to start doing some of the voiceover work. Anybody who could, anybody who is interested and wants to even just drop in Wallace, I'm down for that too. Check us 6echoes.se@gmail.com. Hit me up there if you just want to see it. If you're just interested in the story itself, I'm definitely down to talk about it.
What's up, Ken? Ken says hello.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, I'm Kaiju Carl. You guys know where to find me. Twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl. You're hanging out on it right now if you're watching us live. If you are not, you can check out Tokudon on all major podcasting services. We do have a Patreon. Episodes go up usually Tuesday nights if I'm good and not awful. The audio goes up Tuesday night, and then you get early access to the video for just $2 a month on our Patreon, patreon.com/Tokudon. You can get early access to the video. And if you don't mind waiting, it actually comes up for free on YouTube on Fridays. So... yeah, that's me. That's all I got. Tigra's hoping Mill Creek releases Trigger on Blu-ray and Ultraman Z. I'm sure they will. They have a track record going at this point, so I'm very sure they will. That's going to just about do it for us, I think. Have a good night, guys.
See you guys. Thanks.